Hey everyone, this is Michael again, and welcome to the Monday Night Raw review. And Monday Night Raw tonight was a taped show because WWE taped tonight's Raw last week before last week's Monday Night Raw went on the air. So it was from the same arena, the Wells Fargo Center in Des Moines, Iowa. And tonight's Raw, it was a throwaway show. This taped Raw was a throwaway show. It was pretty much a jobber, throwaway, snooze fest of a show because mostly the matches that we saw tonight were jobber matches. Aside from the six-man tag with the Warriors and Randy Orton versus the OC, and Rey Mysterio versus Seth Rollins for the United States Championship. But overall, this taped Raw was just, like I said, a jobber, throwaway, snooze fest of a show. But before I start the review, if you guys haven't checked out my previous videos, my vlog from when I attended SmackDown is up. Uploaded last night, so check out my vlog when I went to SmackDown if you haven't seen it, and also check out the previous video that I uploaded earlier today. I did a little review of the Twix chocolate milk. You'll know my opinion on that in the video, so definitely check out those two videos if you haven't seen them yet. But on to the Monday Night Raw review. So, Monday Night Raw, this taped Monday Night Raw, opened up with Kevin Owens coming out. Kevin Owens came out. He ended up taking the mic. Kevin Owens ended up saying that he has a lot to get off his mind on a lot of people. So he goes to speak, but Mojo Rawley comes out. So Mojo Rawley ended up saying Kevin Owens better first give an explanation for the nonsense with the steel pipe. And Owens says that he hates to disappoint Mojo, but he wasn't even going to mention that with the steel pipe. Mojo Rawley ended up saying that Kevin Owens needs a reality check. So Mojo Rawley went on and, he made his way down to the ring. Kevin Owens continued to mock Mojo Rawley. So Kevin Owens ended up saying that him and Mojo Rawley have a no disqualification match, a no DQ match. And Kevin Owens ended up saying to Mojo that he can't wait to kick his ass again. Mojo Rawley ended up saying Kevin Owens has the fans fooled, but not him. So Mojo ended up saying everyone is tough with a steel pipe in their hands. And Mojo also said there won't be a Merry Christmas for Kevin Owens or his wife or children after the match is over. So Kevin Owens ended up telling Mojo as he entered the ring to quit talking and let's have the match. So that was Kevin Owens versus Mojo Rawley, no DQ match. Match was very boring, shitty match. We had chairs being used. You had Mojo slammed Kevin Owens through, some chairs. And Mojo ended up taking Kevin Owens from the top. I guess because Mojo was going to suplex Kevin Owens through chairs that were stand-in. And so Mojo ended up taking Kevin Owens and dropping Kevin Owens onto the chairs that were set up. But in the end, Kevin Owens ended up winning the match. He ended up delivering a powerbomb to Mojo Rawley through a table. It went for the pin. So Kevin Owens ended up winning the match. So then post-match, Kevin Owens got on the mic and he ended up saying that he had plenty of fight left in him. So Kevin Owens ended up calling out Seth Rollins and Aop, the Authors of Pain. Kevin Owens ended up saying that he knows that they were going to jump him backstage tonight. And he wants Seth Rollins and Aop to come out and fight in front of the people, in front of the Des Moines crowd. Kevin Owens ended up saying that he knows calling them out is a bad decision. But making bad decisions is part of his charm. So Kevin Owens ended up calling Seth Rollins and Aop out again. And he ended up saying that he's not leaving the ring until they come out. Until Seth Rollins and Aop came out. So we see Seth Rollins and Aop on the Titantron. They were watching from the big screen. They were watching from backstage. So then Seth Rollins came out. And he came out, of course, with Aop. Kevin Owens ends up standing up in the ring, has a steel chair. And Seth Rollins comes in the ring, talks with Kevin Owens. Aop stand there watching from the floor. Seth Rollins looks like he was going to downplay things with Kevin Owens. Seth Rollins ends up extending his hand for Kevin Owens to shake his hand. Kevin Owens ends up looking at Seth's hand like Seth Rollins is crazy. So Kevin Owens ends up turning, walks around, and Seth Rollins was kept on talking to Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens then drops Seth Rollins with a super kick. Ikemen Razor, the AOP, hit the ring, and Kevin Owens ends up going for the chair to use, and AOP ends up beating Kevin Owens down. Seth Rollins gets in, so we had a 3-on-1 beatdown. Fans were booing. Seth Rollins ended up going for the curb stomp, but Kevin Owens ended up attacking Seth, and Kevin Owens was throwing punches on Seth Rollins, unloading on Seth Rollins. AOP ended up coming back to stop Kevin Owens, and Seth Rollins ended up telling AOP, he was barking at AOP, to do orders on Kevin Owens. And Seth Rollins ends up talking shit to Kevin Owens, saying that it doesn't have to be this way. So Seth Rollins ended up laying a curb stomp to Kevin Owens to put Kevin Owens back down, to lay him out. And the fans were booing. And Seth Rollins ended up getting out of the ring with AOP. Kevin Owens ended up trying to recover. He had blood on his face. And Kevin Owens ends up rolling out to the floor. And he's having trouble, getting up. Referee comes to check on him. And that was pretty much basically, what happened. And overall, Kevin Owens versus Mojo Rawley. Garbage match. Shitty match. Then we had, all through the night, we saw R-Truth in the city. And this whole thing with the Jobber, Ninja Turtle, 24/7, garbage, shit, the circus, we'll call it. So R-Truth was out in New York City. He was out in the city. And R-Truth was looking for something. And he stops a random man that's out on the street. He says he has an invite to light the Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson Christmas tree. And the man says R-Truth's invite is written in Japanese. And it's not The Rock's tree. It's the Rockefeller Center Christmas tree. He says it's been lit for weeks now. And, Rockefeller Center Christmas tree every year, looks great. I was just there like 2 weeks ago, almost 2 weeks ago. It is a thrill to see the tree. It's packed with tourists, who come there, take a picture of the tree. You also have the skating rink right next to it in Rockefeller Plaza. But if you guys haven't been to Rockefeller Center during this time of year with the Christmas tree, with the big Christmas tree up, it's definitely worth seeing. Definitely worth going to. If you watch the tree lighting on TV, if you want to see it in person, it's awesome. It's awesome to see it, there. But the guy ends up laughing at R-Truth, and he ends up walking off. So then we see Akira Tozawa. He appears with John Cone, the referee, and Akira Tozawa rolls R-Truth up for the pin, and so R-Truth ends up winning the Jobber Ninja Turtle 24/7 championship. Moving on. And this is not the last time we get to see of this. This is not the last time tonight that we saw all this fucking garbage. Sorry about that, but I was saying, this is not the last time we see of this garbage with the Jobber Ninja Turtle 24/7 title tonight. So then we had Bobby Lashley versus Cedric Alexandra. Oh, this sounds great, right? No. Fucking boring match. So, during the match, Lana gets on the mic. And as I wanted to mute the TV, as always, when she gets on the mic because she's fucking terrible on the mic, she ends up getting on the mic, stops the match, stops in the middle of the match. She gets in the ring. She asks Cedric Alexandra who the hell he thinks he is. Lana ended up saying that next week is the most important day of her life. And her beautiful, hot, soon-to-be husband's most important day. Because Bobby Lashley is marrying Lana. And she ends up telling Cedric to have some respect and says that she can't have Lashley showing up bruised next week. Lana ended up saying that they have to practice their vows. She goes on about, next week's wedding and says everyone is invited, which got boos from the crowd. So Lana ended up saying, oh, how about we have a classic Greco-Roman wrestling match tonight? So Bobby Lashley, was out there on the floor at ringside. Lana went on to talk about, Lashley, and the boos got louder. She went on about how everyone loves her, and that her Bobby Lashley loves her. And it went to commercial. Like, who cares? Who the fuck cares that they're getting married next week? Who the fuck cares? They need to end this fucking garbage, shitty storyline with Lana and Bobby Lashley. This is one of the most hated storylines of this year. This is a storyline that practically everybody in the YWC and the internet wrestling community fucking hate. Please, they need to end this fucking storyline quick. And of course, we're getting the wedding next week between Bobby Lashley and Lana. Yay! Are you all looking forward to it? No, I'm not looking forward to it. I know a lot of you are looking forward to it. Practically, maybe 100% of the internet wrestling community is not looking forward to this shit. They had to make this storyline even more worse by giving us a wedding. But Bobby Lashley ended up winning. Spear to Cedric Alexandra. Whatever. So then we saw Seth Rollins and Aop. They were walking backstage. Charlie Caruso ends up stopping them for an interview. Charlie Caruso asked Seth Rollins what he hopes to achieve by his constant acts of brutality on guys like Kevin Owens. So Seth says she must be kidding. Seth said that he tried to go out with an olive branch for Kevin Owens, but Owens ended up attacking him. He ended up saying, so Charlie Caruso should ask Kevin Owens what he's thinking when going at them each week. Seth ended up, it looked like Seth was frustrated. Him and Aop ended up walking off. And pretty much basically that's what happened. Little, interview. Sorry about that. But then we saw Akira Tozawa. He was on the run, of course, in the city in New York here. R-Truth ends up catching up with him. He and John Cone, and they end up having a altercation with a guy at a food truck. So Tozawa ends up running off. R-Truth and John Cone chase after him. Whatever. And then we had Drew McIntyre versus Zack Ryder. Can you all guess who won this match? If you said Drew McIntyre, you're right. Drew McIntyre ended up winning the match. Claymore kick to Zack Ryder. This is Monday Night Raw tonight, guys. This was the tape Monday Night Raw. So Drew McIntyre ended up winning. Claymore kick to Zack Ryder. So then, after the match, Kurt Hawkins ended up coming in to check on Zack Ryder. McIntyre ended up tossing Kurt Hawkins out of the ring. Drew McIntyre then nails Zack Ryder with a DDT. Hawkins then end up coming back in, tries to fight off Drew McIntyre, but McIntyre ended up dropping him with a Claymore kick. Then McIntyre took the mic, and he says how fun that was of kicking Zack Ryder's ass. McIntyre ended up asking Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins if they're having fun. He says he knows they can't speak right now, but he's going to speak on their behalf. McIntyre ended up saying that he thinks they would agree on having fun, and would say he's just as smart as he is jacked. Incredible wrestler. So McIntyre ended up mocking Ryder and Hawkins more. He ends up saying that we just saw his definition of having fun. He ended up saying he won't give us a long speech about being the future, but he will give it to us straight. And he says 2020 will be his year. So Drew McIntyre ended up dropping the mic, walks out of the ring. But whatever about this match, Drew McIntyre versus Zack Ryder. Jobber match, like I said. Tonight's show was just a jobber fest, aside from 2 matches. Then we had Becky Lynch coming out. And she came out, got on the mic. Fans were chanting her name. She ends up getting on the mic. Becky ended up saying that she'd had some things on her mind lately. And some that she had addressed last week. She says, since the birth of the man, she's learned that she does things better when she takes them into her own hands. Becky ended up saying that is what she's out here to do. Becky went on to say that she's become the face of the company, and the company has tried to save her, to protect her. But she doesn't give a damn what the company wants. She ends up saying that she stayed too quiet for too long. She ends up saying that the man versus Asuka needs to happen next. And she's not taking no for an answer. So, Becky ends up reminding Asuka that she's the one woman to defeat the man, fair and square. So, Becky ends up saying that the man has come back around to collect on one last step. She's like, what do you say, Asuka? So then the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane, they came out. Asuka gets on the mic. She ends up taunting Becky Lynch, reminding her about the main event at TLC. And Asuka was speaking in Japanese. Asuka ended up saying that she wants to become Asuka 2 belts. So Becky ends up telling Asuka, to name the time and the place, because Becky realized that it's going to take putting the title on the line to get the match. So Becky Lynch ends up speaking in Japanese, and she ends up delivering, the same, threat. And Asuka end up understanding that. Sorry about that again, guys. Keep getting interrupted. But, Becky's music ended up hitting. We saw her and Asuka. They were talking shit at each other. And we saw Asuka and Kairi Sane. They were still on the stage. So, apparently, Becky wants Asuka once again. But that was that. Then we had Aleister Black versus Deonn Rusman. I think that's how you pronounce the guy's name. But quick match. It was a squash match. Aleister Black ended up winning. Black Mass to Deonn Rusman. That was that. Then after the match, Aleister was making his way up the stage. And he stomps on the ramp. Buddy Murphy ended up making his way out. So Buddy Murphy ends up coming out. Him and Aleister Black stare at each other. Buddy Murphy ends up entering the ring for his match. So the next match was Buddy Murphy versus Joeasa. I think that's how you pronounce the last name. But another squash match. Buddy Murphy won, hit the Murphy's Law, and that was that. Post-match, we had Aleister Black. He ended up coming back into the ring. He rushed back into the ring. Him and Buddy Murphy faced off in the middle of the ring. Aleister Black ended up offering his hand for Buddy Murphy to shake. Murphy ends up going to shake Aleister's hand, changed his mind, and walked off. And Buddy Murphy turns back around. Aleister Black ends up kicking Murphy's head off, lays him down. And pretty much Buddy Murphy versus Aleister Black is going to take place next week. Anyways, that was, what happened. So then we saw Charlie Caruso. She was backstage with Rey Mysterio, interviewing him. Rey ends up saying that he acknowledges how good Seth Rollins is. Rey ends up saying having Rey versus Seth Rollins for the first time will always have an asterisk next to it. Because it's not just Seth Rollins versus Rey Mysterio. It's Seth Rollins and Aop. And pretty much this was basically a dream match. This was a dream match that was happening in the main event. Seth Rollins versus Rey Mysterio for the United States Championship. So Rey Mysterio went on and said they made a mistake by attacking him last week, the AOP, because they didn't finish what they started. Rey ends up saying that he is confident about hitting the 619 and leaving with the United States Championship tonight. He says he will be keeping an eye on AOP. And so, basically that was the interview with Rey Mysterio. Then we have Ricochet versus Tony Nese. Two entertaining guys. From what I heard, Ricochet, he was on main event. I think it was last week. I'm like, that's sad. That's fucking sad that Ricochet was reduced to main event when this guy should be on, of course, Mighty Raw in matches every week, and you reduce him to an episode of main event. Wow. So it was a short match. Ricochet got the win, hit the recoil on Tony Nese, and that was that. Then we saw Akira Tozawa running through, of course, the city again with the Jobber Ninja Turtle 24/7 championship. And he's running down the sidewalk, and we see these the tree vendors, those guys on the streets. They're trying to sell, Christmas trees, real Christmas trees. So Akira Tozawa stops, and he hides behind the Christmas trees. So R-Truth and John Cone run over. They're looking for, R-Truth is looking for Tozawa. Tozawa end up coming out of the hiding spot behind the trees, behind the Christmas trees. And R-Truth sees Akira Tozawa. R-Truth runs and chases after Tozawa along with John Cone. We're almost done. We're almost done with this 24/7, this Jobber Ninja Turtle 24/7 garbage that we saw tonight. Doesn't end here. Doesn't end here. Then we had Charlotte Flair versus Chelsea Green. Chelsea Green, she's from NXT. I'm a fan of Chelsea Green after seeing her in Lucha Underground. If you remember the final season of Lucha Underground, she was Reclusa, who, along with Maria the Moth Martinez, she was practically, basically, like manager for Maria the Moth Martinez in the final season of Lucha Underground. And then she was in All In that women's match. So right from her in Lucha Underground, seeing her there, I became a fan of Chelsea's. And also seeing her in the All In women's match, it made me like her even more. I think Chelsea Green is very talented. I think that starting in the new year, NXT should put her on TV and not, always, have her work, house shows. So I think with people, if they see Chelsea Green on TV, they're going to, the fans are going to really like her and see the talent in the ring that she has. So, but Charlotte Flair, Chelsea Green, it was cool seeing her. It was cool seeing Chelsea Green tonight. It was her debut match on Monday Night Raw, even though she's an NXT superstar. But right from here, I knew Chelsea Green wasn't going to win the match. Of course, you're not going to lose. You're not going to win to Charlotte. So Charlotte ended up winning. She locked in the figure 8 on Chelsea Green. Chelsea ended up tapping out. So Charlotte ended up winning. But, like I said, it was cool seeing Chelsea Green. Hopefully, in the new year, she gets used on NXT TV. Because all that they've been giving Chelsea Green is having her work the NXT house shows. It would be awesome to see her on TV, in the new year, 2020. I hope, that's the case. NXT puts her on TV, and it'll show the fans the talent, that she has. Moving on. R-Truth, of course, chasing Akira Tozawa. And we see a guy dressed as Santa Claus. He ends up stopping Akira Tozawa, R-Truth, and John Cone. So the guy in Santa Claus tricks R-Truth to leave. So this Santa ends up dropping Akira Tozawa. The Santa Claus guy covers him for the pin, There you go. This guy in the Santa Claus suit wins the Jobber Ninja Turtle 24/7 championship. And he ends up saying that he's taking it back to the North Pole. Oh, God. I watching this the whole night, I'm like, can this fucking end already? Can this fucking end? We don't want to see this garbage 24/7 shit. So then R-Truth ends up coming back to find Akira Tozawa without the Jobber Ninja Turtle 24/7 title. So R-Truth ends up saying that they have to stop Santa. So that was basically that. 6-man tag. We had the Usos versus the War Raiders and Randy Orton. Seen it before. Seen the OC and the War Raiders in 6-man tags all through the later half of this year. Nothing new here. The OC end up winning. Styles end up pinning the phenomenal forearm to Randy Orton. So the OC end up winning the match. But nothing new here. We go back and we see the guy dressed as Santa Claus with the Jobber Ninja Turtle 24/7 title. So the guy in the Santa Claus suit hopped on a horse and carriage, started riding away. R-Truth, Akira Tozawa, John Cone, right behind the Santa Claus. All three of them also hop on a horse and a carriage. Santa ends up stopping his carriage and runs away. The others started chasing him away. Yeah, this is a great holiday episode of Mighty Raw tonight, guys, right? So then backstage, we saw Erick Rowan talking to Cage, the Cage, I guess, his mystery pet. Rowan went on about how cute the pet is, and a new toy he has for him. And Rowan ends up saying that he has cooked his pet something and tells it to wait just a minute for feeding time. We don't even know what this mystery pet is, but when it's time for WWE to reveal who Rowan's mystery pet is, it's going to be a disappointment. Watch, I can tell you. I'm predicting that. So then we saw the Street Profits. They were backstage. Montez Ford ended up mentioning the wedding of Lana and Bobby Lashley next week. Angelo Dawkins ends up saying that he doesn't want to go. I give props to Angelo Dawkins for that, because who would want to see this wedding, this shit wedding in this whole shitty storyline? But Angelo Dawkins ends up saying that he's interested in the bachelor party. They also went on to joke about what might be in Erick Rowan's pet cage. The Street Profits, Ray back to being walking billboards. So then we had Erick Rowan versus a jobber by the name of Travis Horn. When the match got underway, Travis Horn didn't want anything to do with Erick Rowan, so he offers Rowan a candy cane. Gives it to Erick Rowan. And then he's out of the ring. Travis Horn is out of the ring. He has many more candy canes. So he ends up going to the cage, the pet cage that Rowan has. But Rowan ended up getting out of there, getting out of the ring, throws Travis Horn into the LED ring apron there. Erick Rowan slammed Travis Horn on the apron. Erick Rowan ended up winning the match. Iron Claw to Travis Horn. Squash match, like I said. Like I said, this was a whole jobber, snooze fest of a show tonight. Even though it was taped, even though it was a taped show. So, post match, Rowan had his pet cage on the stage, and he gives this mystery pet that's in the cage. He ends up giving them a candy cane. So pretty much that was what we saw. And thank God we get to the last of this whole 24/7 garbage. So, guy in the Santa Claus suit, R-Truth and Akira Tozawa catches up with him. R-Truth ends up pinning Santa to win the Jobber Ninja Turtle 24/7 title back. Tozawa ends up coming back over. John Code said that he had enough of this. He ended up saying that he's been chasing R-Truth and Akira Tozawa all over the city. And he said it's too cold for this. And that he's going home. So Santa ends up also leaving. He's like, oh, both of you are getting cold for Christmas. So R-Truth then offers to call a truce to Akira Tozawa. So Tozawa ended up agreeing, all for the Christmas spirit. So Truth and Tozawa end up walking off together. And I was like, thank God this is the last of it. This is the last of it tonight. Oh my God. And here we have another jobber match. Rusev versus No Way Jose. No Way Jose comes out with his conga line. And pretty much it was a squash match. Yeah, No Way Jose stupidly, and I say stupidly, chopped Rusev, which did nothing to Rusev. And that basically led to Rusev hitting the Machika kick to No Way Jose, pinning No Way Jose. Rusev wins. And then post-match, you have Rusev hits the Spinaroonie. Hits his own Spinaroonie. And he dances with No Way Jose's conga line. The girls that were on No Way Jose's conga line kissed Rusev. And I forgot to say, before the match got underway, Rusev got on the mic, and he ended up saying that he's a bit upset about getting screwed at TLC. He ends up saying you can be damn sure that he's going to fight and do something about it. He says he is upset over Lana and Bobby Lashley getting married. Is he, upset over Lana and Bobby Lashley getting married next week? Rusev ended up saying he's not. He's not upset over Lana and Bobby Lashley getting married. He says the best gift he could give Bobby Lashley is Lana. So Rusev then went on to say about being single. It says the wedding will be Rusev Day. And the crowd end up popping and chanting Rusev Day. But Rusev is going to have a hand in the wedding next week. He's probably going to destroy the wedding. We all know, typical WWE, when some superstars do a wedding storyline, it's not going to end in, greatness. The superstars getting married. So watch Rusev destroy the wedding next week. And then we had Charlie Caruso. She ended up stopping Seth Rollins to ask him what tonight's main event means to him. Seth ended up saying that he will beat Rey Mysterio to capture the United States Championship and establish dominance. So Seth ended up walking off. He ended up stopping where Aop, Razor, Aop were standing. So Seth Rollins ended up telling them, "Let's go." And Aop ended up following him. Then it was the main event. Rey Mysterio versus Seth Rollins for the United States Championship. It was, okay. But, it was back and forth between Mysterio and Seth Rollins. Aop was standing, ringside on the floor, by the ramp. Blocking the ramp off. But the match ended in a disqualification. Rey Mysterio wins the match by disqualification. Aop came down and beat down on Rey Mysterio. And Aop ended up taking Rey Mysterio to the floor. They ended up, dragging him up the ramp. And we heard Samoa Joe. He continued to rant on Aop on commentary. Aop ended up launching Rey Mysterio into the barricade. Seth Rollins ended up looking on. Comes to the floor to join Aop. So Seth Rollins ended up instructing Aop to drag Rey Mysterio up the ramp. Fans were booing them. So Aop ended up bringing Rey Mysterio over to the announce table. And Jerry Lawler and Vic Joseph end up moving. And Samoa Joe was just staying in his seat there. So Aop ended up clearing off the announce table. And Samoa Joe isn't moving. So Aop wasn't happy about that. Aop wasn't happy that Samoa Joe, didn't move and that he was just sitting there. So Samoa Joe ended up smiling. And he ended up saying that he's not moving. And Joe ended up warning that if he gets up, it's not to move. It's both of their asses. So Samoa Joe ended up standing up. And fans cheered Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe ended up taking off his headset. And then he took off his jacket. Seth Rollins got in between Aop and Samoa Joe. And Joe was continuing to prepare for a fight. Having words with Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins tried to talk Joe, out of it. He was giving a weak apology to Samoa Joe. Joe ended up pointing at Aop. And, Seth Rollins was like, "Oh, please don't do this. Please don't do this." Giving a, an apology to Joe. So Seth Rollins ended up turning around and tells Aop, "Finish it." So Aop then attacks Samoa Joe at the announce table. They beat Joe down. Fans were booing. Seth Rollins ends up saying, "Joe asked for this, but it didn't have to be like this." So Seth Rollins ends up seeing Rey Mysterio, trying to get up because, they throw Rey Mysterio into the gifts that were on the stage. So Rey Mysterio was trying to get up to his feet. Seth Rollins ended up putting Rey Mysterio back down because he had a curb stomp to Mysterio. on the stage. So Seth Rollins orders Aop to put Samoa Joe through the announce table. Aop end up lifting up Joe, and they end up driving Samoa Joe through the announce table. Samoa Joe is laid out, and we just see Seth Rollins and Aop standing tall as Rey Mysterio and Samoa Joe were just laid out. And that's how Monday Night Raw went off the air tonight. But as a tape show, the show was garbage. It was like I said at the beginning of the video, it was a jobber show. It was a tape jobber snooze fest of a show. That's all it was. But anyways, that's it for the Monday Night Raw review. Thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed this review. And definitely give the video a thumbs up, comment, subscribe. And like I said, if you guys haven't checked out the previous two videos, the vlog from when I went to SmackDown and the Twix chocolate milk review that I did earlier today, definitely check those two videos out if you guys haven't seen it. But thank you all for watching. Tomorrow is Christmas Eve. Not going to be doing anything on Christmas Eve except watching, the 24 Hours of a Christmas Story, which starts at 8 o'clock tomorrow night. Then, of course, my Christmas morning vlog, which will be up on Wednesday, on Christmas Day. So, till the next video, I'll see you guys later.